welcome back to the Shimi Podcast. Back by popular demand, because these two are just the best of friends, but just the worst of enemies when it comes to certain topics. So back again on the blue team, because we have great lighting right now. On the blue team, we have Shem.
Thanks to the Shimi Podcast for having us back.
Yeah.
It's great to be back.
Yeah.
Shem,
Love to see you, man.
love to be
And in the red corner, Lulu. It's red, bro.
from your Nama glass.
Yeah, clearly wearing the shades. Can't really tell what red is. We have Lulu, the lovely, the loud.
The red nails, eh?
Lulu.
Valentine
You know?
things.
Lulu.
I mean the spirit.
Yeah, just looking great. You look great. I love this dress.
Hi.
Nice dress. You're looking
Thank
very.
you.
You look like you just bathed before you came here, man.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, you guys look great. I'm loving Shem's hat.
Thanks, man.
It's giving.
your
it's
fro
giving-
is really froing.
I know, you make me miss my fro. Like,
Yeah.
every time I look at your hair, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
hair
dedication. I'm
Yeah.
going to
how
start.
many years is this now?
It's just a little bit over a year.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, just a bit over a year.
Good.
What are your plans? Plans?
My plans?
Any
I
plans?
don't know. I don't know.
That's
Because
the
I'm
best
like,
place to
because
be.
I'm like, should I do some braiding or should I like do I do mukule or should but deep down in my deep down and a buff, you know.
It looks nice.
And
A man bun.
And a man bun, but not from on top, from the back.
Back.
So the side is long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I did a man bun once. Or twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long was
Amazed
your
with my
hair?
hair. It was-
Well, that
was-
story.
Clearly, you guys have a lot of history. That's why you guys keep coming back, because you guys have so much to talk about.
Love to be
So yeah, but like, Lulu, how have you been doing?
Been great, actually. Yeah. How have
okay.
you been?
I'm alright. I'm alright. Busy, man.
Super.
The work and everything, and trying to be an entrepreneur in these streets, but the streets are just like,
The streets are
you
dancing.
might want to go back to that job, sir.
You might want to reapply.
you might want to just reapply the next time.
Think about it.
Yeah, Shem, how did it do?
I've been good. Busy.
Mm.
I feel like being busy and tired is like the
It's the
order
norm.
of the day.
It's the order of
you
the
know?
day, man.
It's sad. Like
Are you even?
we just sit here like I'm tired. Like you're always tired.
It's true.
It's
It's true.
It's like
It's true, man.
actually like a personality.
As a man,
almost.
you know, if kapanga, it's like I
No,
feel
no,
fine.
no.
I feel great. It's like nah,
No.
you haven't worked
Something's
today, bro.
wrong.
Something's worked.
You
Yeah.
need to wake.
So I've been good, just battling the heat. It's been extremely hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been extremely hot,
Yeah.
and I'm glad today seems slightly cloudy. So expecting some rains.
Some rains.
Hopefully it could rain overnight because
Yeah.
it's been extremely hot.
Have the best sleep ever.
Yeah.
Have the best sleep ever, man. Yeah, but not in here. Here, the temperature is great.
It is great.
Because we have an air conditioner.
Yes, we do.
It's there, and it's just the best. The best.
Do we?
It's supposed to play along. It's supposed to play along.
I mean,
it's supposed to play along.
It's me here.
That
with my
one
car
friend.
Jump it away. man.
Really?
You're just trying to pretend as if we're a rich podcast. It's like this is the state of the art studio. We have everything. Yeah.
We'll get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Hey, Valentines at Shan. Valentines just passed.
Valentine's is
So,
coming.
who got a Valentine?
It's raining.
That's the rain?
Yeah, that's the rain.
Ah, Shem.
Amazing, eh?
Shem is
Weather forecast guy.
no, which doctor? That's what we
Papa?
call it.
I got it.
Yeah, sorry. No, Mapalo closed my windows, but you can check. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. So who got the Valentines? You guys? Have you outgrown it?
Wait,
but
tell them about the leap year thing.
Oh, so
Yeah.
apparently, and I just saw this on social media. I'm not sure whether it's true or not.
yeah.
Apparently, in a leap year, the roles are switched based off of an Irish legend thing. Women can propose to men, and in short, the women get to do what the men usually do in a normal year. So 2024 is a leap year. It means the women are the ones supposed to be buying us the gifts and spoiling us for Valentine's. But then, not many of us knew that, and not many of them knew that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lulu
And-
just out here like, what is Ireland?
Like,
I've
who
never heard of
It
that.
ain't
came up
me.
with that? Why should we follow their beliefs? Hey.
Well,
Yeah.
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 So I found that very interesting because I think we have, like, first of all, last year, oh my God, he spoiled me.
Excuse me.
It was so
We
nice.
went. No,
Don't spoil
no,
it.
no.
Can
no,
I just
no.
like live in my deluded
wife
world?
Might be watching
Oh
this.
no.
So we went. We had class. And the three of us, me, her, and Boson, friend, went for lunch. But it just so happened to fall on Valentine's Day.
I still took it as.
And she took it
romantic.
as, oh my God.
I love romanticizing my friendships, so
It's
I'm very
good.
delusional in that area. I'm like, I don't care. It was still Valentine's Day.
You should.
And I spent it with my friends. So.
You should.
Oh, it was a good meal.
All right.
Yeah.
So clearly, from the answers, none of you did nothing for Valentine's.
Nope.
In
Sadly
fact,
not.
we actually had a crit.
Was it on Valentine's Day?
Yes,
No, it wasn't.
it was.
No, it wasn't.
Wasn't it?
No, when was Valentine's Day?
No, it was on
The
Tuesday.
2 days ago.
What did we do
2
on that
days
day?
ago. 2 days ago was Valentine's.
It was on
Wait.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Today is Friday.
Yeah, it was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, we didn't do anything.
No,
We-
we
Yeah.
didn't.
Clearly, for the fact that you can't even remember when that day was,
I didn't do anything. I don't
It
know
was-
about her.
didn't
but
do anything.
I didn't do anything.
it must have been very, very uneventful.
What, did you do anything?
No, we agreed with the madam that due to financial
Oh,
constraints,
you're dating?
I do have a
Oh.
girlfriend.
Why do you seem disappointed?
Those no, as in, I want the girls that were probably eyeing you
Yeah.
from, you know.
They should.
I mean, I'm flattered. Who are they? I just like to look at them and feel like, not me, not me, because that's what people like. The rejection.
Yeah.
That's like I rejected them hoes.
Yes.
Like I was just like no.
No.
That's why the power is in saying no. Just like
No.
the flex. Just like you wanted me, but
I
I
didn't
won't
want
have
you.
you. Not because I'm loyal, but because my girlfriend might be crazy,
Yes.
and I don't want to find out.
And this is Kitwe, my guy.
Ah,
Hey.
it's Kitwe, but
Is she from Kitwe?
no, she's from Chipata.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Why?
What?
This is I'm sure if she heard you say that, she'd just be like, another person throwing stereotypes on Chipata. Apparently, guys, Chipata is a great place.
Chipata is a great
It's
place.
developed.
I've been to
And,
Chipata.
yeah, it's cool. John hear some crazy facts about Chipata. No, Chipata has the highest percentage of child marriages
And bicycles, actually.
and bicycles.
Just like
Because
bicycles.
those two things, one of them causes the other. Like all these bicycles are causing child marriages, or all these child marriages. Too many kids have to buy bicycles.
But I'm
Somewhere there.
That's great. Wow.
That's great,
It's
right?
great.
From
Yeah,
the great.
it's great. It's from Chipata.
It's great.
Yeah.
How did you?
I laughed because he laughed. Like,
Where did
That's
you
great.
know?
What?
Where did you know? Oh, well.
We need to. Alright.
for some reason, I just thought you'd say she's from Kitwe.
Yeah.
Or Lusaka.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, but Chipata just hits my funny bone. Just,
All right.
just, yeah.
You're supposed to say it in Chichewa, not in Bemba.
It's just a laughing.
And that's what just happened.
That's like, that's so funny.
I was trying
Where are you
so
from?
hard not to laugh. I couldn't. I was just like,
She will hate this.
We love
she would hate
Chipata.
we
I
love you.
Chipata.
We love Chipata. We love
Yeah.
everybody.
Hope to feature you on the podcast.
know?
What? Yeah, she's so shy. I don't think she could ever. But who knows? Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, on the topic of Valentines, relationships, and bicycles.
Riding.
So yeah, you said
No.
so it's you.
No.
It's a
Because
family
Because you
podcast.
said. So
We're
look at
done
this,
with
right?
Chipata. Thank you.
Before we say filming, Lulu was like, "Don't do any innuendos," because she's like, "You always start," but clearly.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about for like our demographic, millennials, late millennials, early Gen Zs,
yeah.
late
Are
early
we?
Gen Z.
No, we're millennials.
We're millennials.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
yeah,
are.
but
Yeah,
who
we are.
knows those people? They be those.
Yeah, were you born in 2000? Because Gen Zs are like the 2000s.
But sometimes remember Mapalo 97. We found those 97, but some people will say 96, some people say 98. It's not real
Oh,
science.
98.
Yeah.
99 and above, guaranteed, is a Gen
It's
Z.
guaranteed is a Gen Z.
Then
right?
the rest is like,
Yeah, so
millennial.
like let's just millennials,
So
they-
we are millennials.
Yeah, for the millennials, dating and maybe even trying to get married, because I mean, you're right behind the camera, so I have to look at you. Yeah, so because people are thinking about it, people were getting to that age, whether out of necessity. For a wife or a partner or just someone to hang with, or maybe because you just don't have friends and it's like, or your mom is just like on your case.
Yeah.
So whichever way you want to take it, people were thinking about marriage and we're trying to look, because we're always looking at where we are now, who we are. We try to get some things from the past, leave some behind. So we're talking about what are we leaving behind and why, what are we keeping and why, and the opinions of these two are very beautiful, very opinionated, very polarized guests we have here. So I'll start this with Shem, because Shem is a little bit more conservative, but not necessarily in your views, but just when we go to Lulu, it's a session. So we like that with Shem. We had Shem, he rolls it out nice.
Yes.
Lulu is on fire all the time.
all the
There's
time.
no
Stopping
0 to
her.
100. It's 100
Always.
always.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Shem, tell me something about maybe some of your experiences in dating recently, if you can. And recently, if you can. And
The last 3 years.
let's even say 5. Let's even say 5.
Just to be safe.
To be safe, let's even say 5. And
Cut the cameras.
and yeah, and
So,
This is where the podcast ends. Thank you for tuning in.
yeah. So we can talk about that, but really in relation to, because those were still like your mid-adult years, early to mid-adult years, and maybe you are thinking about marriage or even your opinions now, but with reference to that and how you grew up and what you saw and what you tried to change and what you didn't like. So I just want to get an overview of your dating life and your experiences.
okay, so I will not give an overview of my dating life,
Okay.
but I will give an overview of my views. They may or may not have come from my dating experiences, but my views in relation to the relationship kind of views today and my expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've had several arguments with Leandro and my other friends. I stand on the belief that, contrary to majority of the young people today, I believe in, I'd say, equality when it comes to relationships. I don't believe in entitlement. Let me just put that on the table for a start. I don't believe in one party feeling like I should be chilling, relaxing, while you should do all the hard work and like I'm your egg. So like, take care of me. And I do understand and believe that as the man, there's certain things that you should fulfill. You're the man.
Okay.
But then I think there's a fine line between having an egg and having a human being, because like,
It's more than a fine line, but
yeah.
it's more than a fine line as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of what grounds my views on relationships. I stand on the view that if first of all, I think we need to go to what is the basis of your relationship, because that's something that people don't really think much about. Are you getting in a relationship because you're bored? Are you getting in a relationship because you're feeling marital pressure? Because like now at that age where
The
like
family is saying
everybody's
hey.
getting married, so like I might as well just find someone and marry. You know?
True.
Are you getting in a relationship because you feel this is something that I planned for my life? At this age, I should find someone, settle down, marry, start a family, maybe, God willing. So there's all those things.
Okay.
Personally, I feel your views on relationships should, quote unquote, be similar at least, or even be shared with the partner that you're in a relationship with. Because
Definitely.
it's always disastrous when people go in relationships and then they discover that the partner or the person that they've
Polar
chosen to be in a
opposites.
relationship with are completely opposites, like polar opposites, as she says. Because then you find like, oh, their interests are just like, and I'm not saying you should be interested in everything exactly, like love soccer, he loves soccer, love dramas, he loves dramas. No, nothing like that. But you know, you just have to have a certain connection that should be visible, even to us who are not in your relationship. You know, because it's yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I get it. I see where you're coming from to say like it's a partnership.
It's a partnership.
It's a partnership. It's symbiotic. You know, you help each other. You bring something to the table in effort, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be financial. It could be domestic.
Yeah.
Emotional.
But it could be emotional. But you know, at some point you should
Bring something to the
come
table.
together, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. That's becoming a more popular view now.
Is it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is because we're coming from a time of very conservative,
A man should do everything.
Bible-based
Yeah.
relationships where you know I think it was as the man, this is what you do. You have this power over your wife and everything. But anyway, Lulu.
Luyando.
Luyando, I wanna hear. Maybe you can tell us something about your past relationships.
Let me just start from the fact that I'm not a relationship expert. Please, let's just
None
start
of us
there.
are.
Disclaimer.
A disclaimer, don't come and say what, and I'm bound to change my views with time.
As you should.
This is 2024, so
Yeah.
this is my thinking today.
Let's go.
So, my views on relationships
Don't
is
hold back.
Oh, I don't think she will.
I don't think I will. So I think my views on relationships I lie more on the I think mine are different from yours in the sense of like I don't believe in equality because I don't think there's a metric way of measuring things in a relationship to prove equality. So I feel like that theory in itself does not come together. You get what I mean?
Okay.
As a woman, I have privileges in the society, and as a man, you have privileges in your society. So when we come together, we should just then agree to say like, you're a woman, I'm a man, we get it. We number one, have different realities in how we view the world, right? That's already based off just gender, regardless of where you're born and everything. The way you were brought up as a man and how I was brought up as a woman, especially in the African setup, we would say very different. So when we then decide to come together and merge and say, let's be in a relationship, I would like for us to appreciate each of our roles and not fight in terms of like, I can do what a man can do. I can't do that. I don't even want to do that. Okay? And you shouldn't then feel obligated to feel a certain way about the privileges I have as a woman, right? Unfortunately for you as a man, the world does not take it lightly for you. You're made to work. You're made to do all these things. There's no like window for you to jump out and be like, okay, unless you want to be gay. But like...
Some men do have that window. Maybe
you know,
not in Zambia, but
yeah, I'm just saying like a generic view
Yeah.
before we go into like the categories and everything. Just a generic view of a man and what is expected of a man is for him to provide, protect, and do the hard work, right, in society. Then as a woman, you know, I just want to be soft and cute and feminine
wife.
and just like relax and have everything done for me. I mean, like, I know it's a bad thing for some, especially nowadays. There's the whole 50-50. For me, I really don't believe in that. Okay? I believe in let me have a choice to do what I want to do. If I want to be a CEO, let me be a CEO. But if I want to stay at home and take care of the kids and wash your clothes and cook for you, what's wrong with that?
Okay, but just on the record, it's you want the housewife one.
But for me as Leandro,
Today, on this day
today
in
on
2024.
I want to stay at home and have my husband do the hard work whilst I do the homework. That's what I want. I want to just relax and I don't want to fight the world. Like it's too heavy to fight. You were brought up in fighting it. You're used to it by now. I don't want to start now.
What do you mean?
Like already, like I'll give an example, right? Like the way a household would treat you as a man is different from how they would treat me as a woman. They're more softer with me. You get the world already expects you to be hard as a man. It's weird for a man to be like very emotional, even though it's allowed. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's not allowed, and I'm not saying like I don't allow that. But I'm just
We're not
saying
supporting toxic masculinity.
yes, but I'm just saying like the generic view, right?
Yeah.
The generic view is that a man is supposed to be hard and strong and da da da. Da. So like you're already brought up with that mentality, depending on where you're coming from. Then for a woman, it's like, you know, like you can be at home at the age of 30 and no one will really look at you. But a man,
Really?
Oh yeah.
for real. As a
I think
female,
people still look at them, but differently through different
They
lenses.
look
like
through
the
different
woman.
lenses,
People
like-
look at you like, Ime, when are you getting married? In Africa, in the
Yes.
African context,
Yeah.
but it's not like
when are you getting married?
where's
What's
your
wrong
life?
with you? But then as a man,
Exactly,
it's
to be
kind of
like, where's your money? Why aren't you
What are
working? Why aren't
what are
you?
you
Da, da.
doing? I remember telling Toast I don't know if you even remember, it was a long conversation we had, and we were like, Toast has an older sister, right? And she works in Lusaka. What does Muzo do again?
I don't know, just
What did she
Disclaimer, we will
what
not
did
say
she
the
do? What
company.
did she do at CBU? What did she do at CBU? Economics?
did banking.
Banking and finance, right? So Muzo's in Lusaka being a big deal and whatever, right?
But don't say why she went for.
Okay, it's fine. Confidential, wherever. I don't know where she works. But anyway, she's big deal, whatever. So, having a conversation, and then there was a time we're just having a laugh with Toast, and we were like, the same thing you said, right? Like Muzo could quit her job today because she feels a little bit uncomfortable
Yes,
with how the boss says her name.
yes.
You know, something as I don't know, that could
Yes,
be a big, just
yes.
like, oh, I don't like how he says my name, and I don't want to do it, and I want
Yeah,
to go back.
yeah.
And Toast dad, he will take
Yeah.
her back, and she'll keep her, and she'll be his egg.
Yes.
She'll be his egg
Yeah.
for as long
Soft
as
life.
she wants, right?
Soft life.
But should Toast
Oh,
go
hell no.
and be like, man, me, I think I want to be a rapper? He'll be like, leave
My
my
house.
house. You and I should get
Get out.
out. Deep, bro. Goodbye.
Bye.
Today.
See you later.
but do you
Can't
think
have
that's
you.
right though?
Depends on what you believe in, though. We
Yeah.
all have our biases. 100%. I believe everyone has their biases, and the fact that we most of us come from Christian homes, and we sort of live some sort of pseudo based upon the Bible. Have those kind of families, and
family views, values.
it's the man is the leader. He's the head of
Head.
the household and everything, right? And
Do you know there was a question that I asked my housemates yesterday? I was like, when you're sitting down and you're reminiscing about your childhood, how many of you remember or have your father in that memory?
he's there sometimes.
Like, and it's for like
She's-
once, but not like majority of the time, right? Like for your mom, you can remember how she was beating you, how you ran away, how
I think I remember both
you
of
do-
them beating me, and I do. Like I was really a naughty child growing up because I have a young brother and I was his number one bully. So I do everything. I remember there's a time I did so many things. I once got beans and I asked him to like sniff it and then it got stuck up his nose.
Yeah.
I did so many things to him. I tell him to look through like the keyhole and then I'd get like a syringe without the and I'd just like splash water in his eye. So I did so many things and I would always be constantly being flogged. So there's this time I remember. Should I even talk about this on the podcast?
No.
okay, fine.
Anyway.
But I
Yeah,
do
you
remember both of them.
Yes. So my question, why I raised up that question is because majority of us in our households, when I think majority of us African type of setup would have more of our mother present than our father. Like,
true.
if you hear your father coming, you even run away from the sitting room
Are you-
because, like,
yeah,
I
you
am
just
not
hear the
about
gate
that.
open, you just hear that "Kui," it's like
Give you the food, you've eaten,
gotta
get
go.
the plates, wash the plates. I'm in my bedroom. You
Yeah,
get so like
yeah.
majority of your childhood does not have a man there.
I agree, right? I think we're going to go into this next line of questioning where I'm going to ask you guys about. Let's go back in time and talk about
Yeah.
the relationships we saw with our
Yeah.
parents or
Yeah.
uncles
Yeah.
or very
Yeah.
older
Yeah.
brothers and
Yeah.
sisters and stuff. So it was something. But I will say back then a man was a man. Your dad, even up to now, I'm sure in all of our houses, your father is
Your
like,
father is coming.
you know, you can be as big as you are right now, but they'll be like, Shem, you need to go and talk to your father and tell him that you didn't think that what he said to you was right. You'd be like,
It's
no.
okay. I'm
Like,
cool.
no.
I'll die with this
Did
story.
I say
It's
he
fine.
wasn't right? I'm sorry, I miscommunicated.
I alluded to. I'm sorry, I alluded to that.
Sorry. It's like, sorry.
It's my fault.
I'm telling you.
What I meant was.
Because my dad, I remember that time, very young. I was very young. It could have been like 2, 3. We lived in Riverside, right? And I think that time we were a very extended family because my uncles and my aunts and my sisters, and it was a very big family. So, you know the food budget, you have to do some mathematics. So there are some things only my dad ate. Right?
It's everyone.
Yeah, so bacon was that.
That's dad's food.
That's dad food.
That's dad
Yeah,
food.
thank you for some.
That's
I'd
it.
love to hear from someone else. That's dad food. Bacon,
Dad food.
It would be like on the weekend, especially.
Yes.
He's going for work a little bit late. You smell it from the kitchen. You just know that's dad food.
Bacon with onion,
Yeah.
chips,
Ooh,
salads.
It's there.
Okay,
Eh.
I didn't have that experience. So
I
I'm
mean,
just-
yeah. So I remember, I was like the youngest that time, right? So like, it could have been just my baby brain, right? So I was like, I smell the food. He's there, he's sitting, he's eating, and I'll just be like, being a baby in front of him, just doing silly shit, like notice me and just throw me some bacon, bro. You ever seen the way a dog?
Throw me some
you ever seen the way a
crumbs,
dog looks
sire.
at you when you're eating? And that's how I
That's
imagine.
how it-
That's how I'm imagining how he was seeing me. Because I remember I'm just like, I'll just stare at him eating
Puppy
bacon,
eyes.
you know, just be like trying to be like, give me some. You know?
Throw
He
me
would- And he
some.
would sometimes. Sometimes he'd be like, do you want some bacon, Sonny? And I'd be like, yes.
nodding like crazy,
Dad.
like
Yes,
yes.
Father. Thank you so much.
Like a straight
anyway, so we're going. I accept
Thank
that
you,
gift,
Father.
Father, for granting me this privilege. Yes, Father.
It's an honor.
I would die for you, Father. You know, that's how I felt. I was like, because bacon, man, bacon is nice. I eat pork. Just
Sponsorship from.
from pork.
No offense to those that don't. Eat pork. Well, I love pork.
I love pork. Anyway, so Shem, tell me something about tell me about what you would see between your parents, like I said, your older uncles, your siblings, and how that relationship was. If you saw some that during that time, anyway, tell me about that and maybe how it's affected your view, or maybe like what did you not like? What are you like? I'm so glad we don't do that anymore. Or what are you like? What are you keeping from them? Be like, this must stay.
Okay, so my views on relationships definitely have been shaped by some of these things. Actually, I was having a conversation with some friends a while back. Actually, I think even with Luyando, we did have a portion of this conversation.
Yeah.
And I was telling her to say, well, I grew up in a home where my mom and dad were both working, you know? So I didn't have that kind of... My views on even how my wife would be have been shaped by the way I've seen my mom all my life, you know?
Yeah.
Like, she loves to work. She's a working woman. She's still working. She just loves it, you know?
Yeah.
She's a workaholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I personally, I don't see myself marrying somebody that's like, I'm not about to do this.
Who doesn't
No.
contribute like that?
Yeah, no. Well, if it's a common decision, if we sit down and say, okay, look, there's kids, you have to take, so one of us has to take care of the kids. And she's like, okay, well, cool. Then I'm okay with that. You know, we could,
Okay.
I feel it has also shaped my views based off of the fact that then why did you go to university? bruh?
Okay. I was about to say we have a little bit of middle ground between you and Leandro on that point on the we agree on something but it was a little bit of middle ground.
It's just a little bit because I
Yeah.
think where she's coming from and where I'm coming from are totally different. You get?
Yeah.
So, because for me, I think back to if I have a daughter who's just going to go and be somebody's wife, why would I waste money taking her through it, getting her through a whole career that she's not even going to use? Like, what's the point?
Yeah,
Just-
I know
just
that's
to high school.
I know that sounds a bit brash, but I can get the point in there to be like already this is a marginalized gender,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, and you choose to just be like, I'll just go and be a housewife. I mean, the choice, it's not, there's nothing wrong
There's nothing wrong with being a housewife. There's nothing wrong with being a housewife.
There's nothing wrong with being
It's actually great.
with being a housewife. And sometimes I have this conversation with people where I say, and again, not to sound like I'm the all knower of women's struggles and everything, right? But I feel like the graph for women is on and up, you know, in terms of responsibility and opportunities. Every day.
Yeah,
I believe every day more women are getting employed,
And
educated,
have you seen the positions that they're getting?
and they're getting better
Very
positions
good
and everything,
positions.
right?
Better pay.
But I still feel like we are still behind on our history of anti-women, you know, rhetoric and behavior and family things. So sometimes I feel like it should be your responsibility as a woman, if you can, but please do, to be a model, a responsible model, to take up the position, to do more, because when you do more, you show other people that they can be more, because you can be a housewife, fine. It's a noble profession, and I'll call it a profession.
profession. It is
It's
a
a profession.
profession.
It's a real job, and we need women in the
More.
household.
Yeah.
But the more housewives, there are a lot more housewives than there are maybe working family women, right?
I think it's the opposite, actually.
No,
I think
they're-
if you look at the population holistically, there is more housewives.
there are more women
than
I
who are
don't think
home.
there are housewives that choose to be housewives.
No,
There are housewives that haven't had the opportunity to
circumstance, right?
become
And
like
and
if we
regardless.
look at the Zambian setup, like
Mm-hmm.
realize that just because you're brought up in Quito with privileges to go to school, not everyone has had that
Mm-hmm.
capability. So if we look at the entire Zambia, we'll then realize that not a lot of women have the opportunity to actually go to school. In a village, take it for example, if we had to go and take a populace or count how many women actually are educated and have moved out from that area to go to an area where they can have access to that, are very few, because majority of them are forced to be housewives. It's then if we come to the urban side of life, then you can say, how many women are actually choosing to be housewives? Very few. Why? Because it's looked down upon. It's not something that a woman, even just right now, if you go in the streets and say, would you like to be a housewife? A lot of people will be like, no, I want to work. I want to have this. I want to have my ambitions, my what?
True.
You get.
I don't think that's true.
But for me personally, that's why I think my point still stands in that the more women who are choosing work or some sort of responsibility
Yeah.
or leadership are going to pull up more women.
And do you know
They're
the
going
reason
to
why
pull
I'm
up more women, and
the reason why I'm then saying that more women are getting into the work sector or labor force is because they are fearful of getting married to a man who will not actually take up that responsibility. So you find that a lot of women are actually working and achieving those goals because of said fear. We've heard a lot of stories where it's like, okay, you agree both of you to say, let's get married and then I'll be the housewife. Then you get more money or you're exposed to more things. Then you leave me and say, I'm not even going to be with you because you're just a housewife. You get. So a lot of women nowadays are in fear of being housewives for that specific reason.
But I think nowadays also you've seen a lot of women leave men because she's now bank manager. And what are
Yeah.
you? So she's just like, what are you to
What are
me?
you?
And
Just
she leaves
a-
you. She
just
cheats
a-
on you.
just
She
a-
goes to
Yeah,
some
definitely.
Just a tamanga.
some
Yeah, just the tamanga.
Really?
And it's like, I mean, so Shem, anyway, back
so
to
back
Shem.
to
Yeah,
me.
let's continue. Yeah.
Let me just wrap up my
Sure.
answers to the question. So yes, then I also have uncles and aunties who I've seen a total opposite. Like I've seen some aunties who they didn't work, they've never worked, they've raised their families throughout their lives. I've had that whole view on life, you know, so that has shaped my views. But I think obviously my parents and the household I grew up in will shape my views more, you know. So in summary, I'm standing on the point that I think as long as you agree as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. If you say, please be a housewife for this, maybe not forever and ever,
Okay.
please be a housewife for so long.
You evolve. You
evolve.
grow in the
Yeah, when the
marriage
kids
and
reach
everything.
15 years old or something, get back to the
Something.
career or
Sure,
something.
if you can.
Or let's all retire.
Let's just
Wait,
stop working.
Yeah, let's all work for the next 5 years, then start having kids, and then we all retire and just let them grow.
Yeah.
And let
Have
the
fun.
businesses run.
Yeah.
Something
Keeping
like that,
chickens and something.
Yeah,
It's
not
a great Zambian dream.
like none of us have stress then.
I
And
mean,
like-
I mean, thanks for solving poverty and road hunger in one statement. Thank you so much. Shame, but yeah, I
then-
get you. I get
so
you.
that's the conclusion on that. But then in response to Leando's statement, when I was saying I don't agree with her views on ladies or girls having an opportunity to go to school, I think there's two general misconceptions around school in Zambia, which I personally have seen. This is just my general deduction of it. The way girls see school and the way guys see school is very different.
Yes, like I said, like we live a world with different realities.
Yes.
Best of your gender.
So, and I'm not trying to marginalize the female gender, but most girls will be in school and they're not even interested in being in school. They're just in school for the sake of being in school. Like, just look at contributions in class, like participation, even just interest. Let's just narrow it down to basic interest of her being in class.
Yeah.
She's just there to look pretty. And
I mean,
But I would say the
there's-
same thing about
there's some-
guys.
There's some.
You're
there's-
just there for just like a lot of guys out there will be like, I'm in school because my parents have to.
I won't.
Not because you actually want to be there.
So that's my point right now. It's also about how we are raised and how we are viewed in the home. So that's your point to say like we are seen differently, right? Because I'll give an example, right? My grandfather, right? My grandfather was a polygamist.
my grandfather
Me
also was
too.
a polygamist.
Nice.
It's like,
Me too.
That's nice.
3 products of polygamy.
Yeah.
well, yeah, he did.
What did you say? Did you
Divorce
say twinsies or you said
Triplets.
triplets?
But he did. My grandfather did divorce my grandma and then married another lady, and she married another guy. So
Okay. I mean, that's like
nice.
mild polygamy. My granddad had 6 wives.
wow,
Yes.
amazing.
Mine
Yes.
had 3 or 2, if I'm not mistaken.
See? Baby
Like
pop-
actually,
a baby
like one was
of a
sitting
polygamist.
in one street, the other one was in the other street type of situation. Like it was full blown polygamy. It wasn't like
Okay, you were like wealthy polygamist. Because she didn't say in this hut, in this
In the next room,
in the
hey,
street.
they had a house.
There was this house.
There was another
there was
house.
This house. There was
And
this
he was
house.
supplying,
Yeah. So-
funding both houses.
Yeah,
Wow.
so barely a polygamist,
very polygamist.
wealthy polygamist,
Yeah,
just
bougie.
like good old, keep you in line polygamy.
But
And-
6 wives?
Yeah, he had 6 wives. He had 6 wives. So
Wow.
That was
So it was only on his deathbed in 2005 when he had his last child. And I mean, it was when he died.
on his
It was on
deathbed.
his deathbed.
What was it?
What do you mean
was on
when
his-
he had his last child?
Like that was the year he
Oh.
had his last child.
What
was
do you
born.
mean that was the year he had his last child?
That was the year. That was the. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get into technicalities. But that was with the last
The
wife.
7th wife?
The 6th or 7th
How
one.
old was she?
Younger.
Way younger.
I mean,
Huh?
probably
He
in the
was.
70s,
He was. No.
90s.
He was a little bit older. Because I think
sorry.
at that time his oldest, my uncle, could have been like in his late 50s.
Oh!
His
We're
late
not
50s
judging
to
Leandro.
60s, late 50s. Could have been his late 50s, mid-late 50s, somewhere there.
Okay. Fix your face.
Yeah. So he was in his older
An
years.
active man.
And
Fulfilling
Real
his-
active?
and the
How
last
did he even
woman-
manage to
and
die?
The last woman, to generalize, was in the window still in her fertile window, of age, because that I'm feeling like
Give us,
I
please
feel
give
like
us
she's
an age.
giving
Was she
us.
40? Was she?
I don't
20?
I don't even know,
Okay.
but she could conceive anyway. So on his
Well,
deathbed,
Congratulations to them.
I mean, yeah,
It's an achievement.
You had uncle born in 2005.
yeah.
Was that
Auntie,
was that
auntie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2005. Yeah,
Nice.
it's
I
a
know,
bit.
right?
I mean, it's weird.
It is weird.
It's weird.
Like,
So
how old was your dad?
he didn't. So like on his deathbed, right? So I think that's when because my granddad he didn't believe in education for women.
Oh,
So even in how he spoke to them and how he made that divide in his home was completely different. He's just like, I don't believe in education for women. Women are for cows.
Where were you from? Sorry to bring this
Okay.
up. Where was your grandfather from? Which part of the country was your grandfather from?
Now it's Muchinga province, Isoka.
I'm asking because I think there's a difference depending on which part of the country you were from. My grandmother used to go to school and she was in Western Province. And her mom also actually. So her dad wasn't.
I feel
really
like
for the
Lozis are
idea.
generally educated people.
Lozis, Southern Province, they do a lot better. Northern Province there, where I come from, no. No, there is no. So like he was like, no education, but then in that time he had an epiphany because the women who he had liver failure. So the women who treated him, these nurses were young girls, and he was like, I'm seeing my daughters. And on his deathbed is when he told his children, my dad and my dad's older brother, the leaders of the family after him, that you should educate everyone. But that this was 2000. That wasn't a long time. That was 2005. So before that, he'd still been pushing. You can't school for girls.
No.
Not on my budget. you are 3 cows. That's how I see. When I see you in the morning,
I see cows.
I see 3 cows. That's all. Just be like, have you seen 3 cows?
When are the cows coming?
When are the cows coming? Right. So now imagine and even simple things like there's commentary in the household. You know, there'll be a boy and a girl. You've been in those houses. You've seen it where it's time for homework. The boy goes to do it, but the girl is like, first kapiange panse, do the dishes, start cooking, things like that. Or like math is for boys. That's enough. You know, that's enough to really sway someone like math is for boys, science is for boys. Boys should pass. And it also, and you raise boys like that and become that type of father and it's like a girl can't leave you in class.
So I think
Who
it
hasn't
comes
heard
down
that?
to cultural.
It
lines,
comes
eh?
down to so I want to bring that up because that's what brings in that passiveness. It's a factor that brings in that passiveness for girls in school. Because it's like where I come from, no one is really like, you be a doctor, you be a shan. That's like, hey, we have to. It will look weird because we're in town and you don't go to school, so we just have to go.
For me, I think, again, maybe culturally, we're very different. The way and I think it's just general for Lozis. We don't have those striking, like, boys don't cook, girls are in the kitchen. There's none of that.
Like those gender
None of that. Like,
work roles.
we
can
grew
say.
up doing everything. I'd garden, I'd cook, I'd wash dishes, and there was house helps.
By the way, Shimwell cooks really good. Watch out for his restaurant.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry.
Just house helps, by the way, but then we still had to
You still
learn
had to do
both
yeah.
sides of the thing. So I do understand what you're saying.
So I'll say now, just to wrap up with so you get to Lulu, because I'm excited. What is the negatives? What didn't you like from that old school? Whether it was from your parents, but just from then, what do you like? I don't like. Maybe it was a norm, or it was something happened, and just like I don't like that, and I don't want to personally carry that into my relationship or marriage.
Ish. I have to actually think.
Okay, we'll come back to.
Yeah, I
come
have
back
to
to
think
you.
about that.
So, Lulu,
Well,
same. Tell me about the.
okay,
past. Tell
so
me
for
about your
me,
mom and dad.
I come from a household where my mother, my mom's side, very hyper independent women. I know hyper independence is looked at as a bad thing, but like most of the women are super educated, hard workers, practically would rather work than be at home. My own mother, she was very, very, very hardworking, like exceptionally hardworking. She had a PhD. It was like that type level, like hard work. And obviously, if you have a mother like that, everybody expects you to do the same thing. No, like it's an African home, obviously.
Yeah.
Follow the footsteps.
Follow the footsteps.
Yeah. So both parents were both hardworking. That's what I was exposed to. But at the same time, I also lived with different people. So it wasn't just like I was living with my mother and father. Like I would go for holidays and you see like, oh, these people live like this. So other households, I would find like the husband is the one who's staying at home. Other households, I would go out find the woman is staying at home.
You saw that?
Yeah,
You
I
saw-
did.
Back then, you saw
Back
a house
then.
husband.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can't call him a house husband, but there's a man I saw who would, like, when we would go visiting, because he's friends with my parents.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
go visit them, he'd literally be helping my aunt, like, kosha them baula. And for me, it was like, what?
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
I
I do that, but then my dad was not doing such things. So I was like, what? You know?
Yeah.
Was he much younger than where your parents were?
No, they were like age mates with my parents, you know?
okay,
So it was like, and I'm seeing this old man doing such things. The wife is there chopping stuff. He's helping her kosha them baula.
Yeah.
And it was really like,
Yeah.
wow. It was that,
Yeah.
you know?
So for me, I was exposed to different households. I wouldn't say my decisions of how I want to live my life was based off a said specific household. I think it's like a mixture of everything. Yeah, I would say. And because I was exposed to all those different households, I then decided what was best for me. Like, yeah, I think that's what I would say. Like, I then decided what was best for me based off like everything. I mean, I do take characteristics from my mom's side. I mean, heavily embedded in me. I mean, in terms of like hardworking, that you can't say I'm not. I'm very hardworking, independent, all that crap. I do that, but I don't want that to be something that is used as like, oh, because she's that, then I don't need to help her
Yeah.
as my husband because I can do it. Then you just sit back and say, no, you do it. No, you know. So for me, that equates to being like very masculine. Like, you don't want me to just relax. You just want me to constantly because I met her like this and this is who she is. No, like, I also want to just like chill and, you know, you take care of the kids. I want to go out with my girlfriends on the weekend, you know? Like, why do I always have to stay back? You know, it's something that I even talked about with one of my housemates yesterday to say, it's always a situation when if we have a child, right, and you run away and say, I'm not taking responsibility of that child. As a mother, I don't have that opportunity. I don't have that choice because it's my child. That's the reason why even today in Zambia, we will not understand postpartum depression of how a mother would not just want to be around their own child that they gave birth to. It's a very hard phenomenon to understand. Like, you're the mother, that child lived in you, why can't you love it immediately? But people go through certain things like that. Like, so for me, my stance on how I would love a relationship to be in the near future, even when I eventually get married, I would want to have a man that understands that, oh, when my wife decides that she's tired and she really doesn't want to work and do anything, she should have the opportunity without you imposing that, like, no, because you've been like this since I met you and you're independent, continue. No.
Okay, but
I don't want
can I
that.
chime in there? Can I chime in there and ask to say, from, you know, we've been having conversations about this the whole day, right? So like, okay, let's say, but the man, right?
Yeah.
This theoretical future husband
Yeah.
of yours, right?
Yeah.
He's supporting you, right? He's supporting you and your children, and there is a substantial amount of stress and work towards all of that, right?
Yeah.
And let's just say maybe you came in working,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore. Doesn't he have the right to say no?
No, but that's where it comes in. Like, when we're dating, I'm obviously going to share views, right? Like, for you,
Yeah.
before you even get married, you're going to talk about these things. Like, I don't want to work forever as your wife. I want to have a life where I'm seated at home doing my own businesses. If it means me selling hair, doing nails, doing something, yes, but I do not want to report for work at 8 o'clock and have a boss shout at me every single day. So I need, like, if we're going to get married, we're going to talk about that. And if you're not okay with that,
So the way, sorry to cut you short, the way you just mentioned that women can't leave the child is the same way men just can't walk out and say, well, I also don't want to work. I don't want to wake up at 8 hours. I'm tired. I don't sleep.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's true.
you know, so like,
yes, 100%,
That's it. You can't
yeah.
just be like, I'm tired of this job.
You
I'm-
can.
I
oh, you're
don't
tired? I'm
want-
also tired.
I don't want to take care of this wife anymore. It's just like, I'm going.
I'm working for you.
Right? So like, you know,
Yeah.
so for you, is that fair?
For
Do you think that's fair? Because I'm now.
if my husband comes to me and says I'm not working for that, there needs to be a backup plan for that.
Okay.
Like,
But-
what's
but-
the plan?
But then this is a.
So if we both say we're not working, then what happens?
Do you? Sorry, again. I'm just throwing another one of those.
Yeah.
I'll throw a few of them.
Cool.
Like you mentioned you want to go out with the girls and stuff. Say for instance, your husband is working and there's no business you have going on. You're just home chilling. And then you say on weekends, you say, you know what, I'm tired. You keep the kids. I want to go out with the girls. Would you think it would be fair for your husband to understand that? Because then he could think, you've been home the whole week. Chilling. I've been working the whole week, so my weekend should be for me to rest.
Yeah, because essentially it's
Yeah.
like you as a
But then
housewife, there's a
Yeah,
certain freedom
yeah.
to being a housewife,
I
right?
understand
you make
that.
your own rules. You sort of do that. You make
I
you
would
tailor it
say
to yourself.
I would say like for you, you're saying you're working and you're tired, right? But what time are you spending time with your kids to bond with your kids? Because I can guarantee you that you're coming back around 18. The kids by then are preparing to go to bed. We're eating supper, they're bathing, they're about to go to bed. So what time are you going to bond with your kids?
I mean, I support the whole goddamn family, man.
But still
I'm
more.
tired. Like I support the.
Can I be
I
tired?
support this whole family.
Can I be human?
I'm tired, and I have, and I hate these kids because I'm so stressed.
But they're
And
your
it's just
kids. They came from your side.
Post
No,
fatherhood.
Post daddom.
Really?
Post dad. I was like, I hate these kids. Man. I don't know why.
I feel like I'm in jail. Like I've been sentenced to life.
That's how they go buy milk.
I was like, oh, I'm just go buy a smoke. It's just like, oh, man.
I'm not coming back.
Deep.
Yeah, I feel okay. I won't say. I think what I would say like I really got this was from my uncle and my aunt. They live in Kafue, and I'm not going to say that they have the perfect marriage and they have never fought and blah blah blah. No, but the way they have curated their family life is something I truly aspire to and love and admire. How they've just like I just believe. Be with someone who really likes you, like really actually likes you as a person, and not what you actually bring to just like someone that I just like you. You know what I mean? Therefore, every decision that you
Cut you short again. Do you think your statement then now cancels what today's relationship culture, dating culture?
today's
says?
relationship
Like
culture,
girls are looking for men who, as long as you can take care of me, I don't
Yeah.
need to like you. Can you take care of me? Can you provide?
To be honest, I really don't believe that. I don't believe you can be with someone who you don't like. Why? Even if even if they provide for you there'll be a point in your lifetime where you're going to be highly irritated, disgusted by that person if you don't like them. You'll be getting the money, yes, but you're looking at this baboon and you're like, ew.
But like.
And you'll be praying every day for that person to die so that you can inherit his wealth.
But women. I look at this, right? And women famously settle, right?
Yes.
Women are the ones who famously settle.
Yes.
Because of the way because status quo, men are sort of the more you want a high value. We say this a lot now. High value man and whatnot. So women
Let me
tend to settle.
let me
I'm
say
getting
something. Let me
old.
just say something controversial. I think it would be controversial, whatever. But there's something that my grandma always used to tell me. I think when I just started puberty or something, she would always say, date a man that likes you more than you would like him. And then she said it's easier for women to grow into love with a man than it is for a man to grow into love with a woman. By that she meant men usually fall in love with what they see with immediate effect. Like, I love that girl. Even if that girl is a hoe and you be telling this nigga, your girl is a hoe, he'll still be there because she's sexy, she's what, like
But I
she'll
don't think
do the
that's
most
love.
she'll do the most foul things, but yeah. But for women
Ride
it's the
or die.
opposite, right? For women it's the opposite. Like, we won't fall in love with what we see, you know, but we're going to fall in love with what you
I didn't
do.
like you just said at me.
So what we
Girlfriend.
see-
I mean, you've got a girlfriend. It's better I say that than say the other thing. So yeah,
okay, yeah.
we fall in love with like the things you do for us. That's the reason why there's that thing that says like women fall in love with the words that a man tells them. That's why the men lie, and men fall in love with the what women look like. That's why they put makeup and all that stuff. Like some
When did you read that?
in some
I know
I'm
where
not
she got it from. She's botched it.
yes.
She got the general.
Yes.
She got the general.
yes
Because
like,
I think you guys put makeup for yourselves. We
no
don't
yes
really,
no I'm just
you
like
know.
I think it was coming from like how you look is what a guy will fall in love with compared to how for us this you find a guy is
it
so
easy.
so ugly but just the voice how he talks to you you've fallen in love how you get like that's how women are. So it's just like
Women also need love.
Ugly men do need love. Hashtag no, there's no ugly men
need love.
out there. There's no ugly men.
so
out
yeah
there.
so like for me it's like I going back to what I was saying to say like yeah my uncle in Kafiwe and his wife have put up a setup where she takes care of the family. She's at home. It's not that she's not educated. She's educated. She's got she's an accountant. What's that? What's the highest level for accountancy? She's got those papers. Yeah, whatever. Yes, so she can work anywhere. She can do whatever. Yes, she's very smart. Whatever. But when they got together and they decided we're going to get married, they agreed to say, you as the wife are going to stay home and take care of the kids, raise the kids, and I am going to work for the rest of my life, for the rest of your life.
Oh, wow.
So till today, the kids are like, I think one is even about to be in grade 12 or whatever, and she doesn't work. She does business, like farm business and stuff, like keeping the farm together, but not like clocking in, going to work, dress up by boss. No. And it's been like that for years. Whatever she wants, if it's maintenance, looking good. And it's not only that, but she also has workers for her. Like, just because you're a stay-at-home mother doesn't mean you have to
It's not like she's on her knees.
no,
scrubbing the
they've got
towels or
workers. She wakes up, they cook, whatever, they clean the house, they what. Like her, it's just to make sure the kids are good and say the budget of the month. That's it. So for me, that is my life. That's what I want. I want, I'm educated, highly educated. I work, you know, but I don't want to work forever. And I want to have a man that has got that similar mindset to say, you don't have to work. I mean, if you want to, you can do it, but it shouldn't be something I'm forcing it upon you. It's like,
Sounds like your money is yours and my money is ours.
That's what it sounds like.
I mean, I've seen it work for years and I've seen it happen and it has worked for them. I mean, clearly if it wasn't a routine that worked, I don't think they would have been doing it by now. So ever since I can remember, it has always been like that. Like it's always her at home taking care of the kids and all that stuff. And making her life easy, I would say. Like super easy. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easy because we're on the outside. We don't know what happens between them, you know? But like basically the outward look of her just like relaxing, making sure the farm manager is doing what he has to do. The workers, are they plowing? Are they harvesting? Like that's her job. And just reporting to him and like sending reports and numbers and figures. Like basically that's it.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. I want to.
So that for me is like an ideal.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to clock in.
She doesn't want to suffer.
I don't want to suffer.
And that's fair. And that's fair, right? You don't want to suffer.
I
and that's
don't want to
fair.
suffer.
And I believe that people should be able to choose the life they want, right?
Yeah.
Like, regardless of the status quo, if you're a man and you're like, I have to work, but at least I want my wife, I want to come home and just feel like
At home.
I don't need, I'm at home, I'm relaxed, everything. I take off my shoes, there are slippers there I should put on. You know,
Your clothes are clean,
my
fresh.
fresh and right. There's choice. You should have choice. But then marriages just aren't about I'll do this, you do that for me. There's decision making and there's also leadership, right? So
Yes.
now I'm going to even have Shem. I'm going to challenge Shem a little bit here, and we'll talk about things like obedience. In a marriage, or I'll say, because obedience is part of leadership. There's a leader, and the other person must be obedient, right? So, the dynamic of your marriage is based on some of these roles we're all mentioning now. That's a huge part of
Disclaimer: we are not married and we don't know anything, but we're just saying what we know.
True.
It's from what we've seen. So
What we've seen,
And
not
that's-
that we have
yeah.
experienced.
Yeah.
None of us are married.
Yeah.
our views might change when we all finally.
That's the
get
reason I
married.
said in the beginning that it's just in 2020.
It's just
We should do
right
like
now.
a reshoot.
Like
when
a
we-
reshoot.
10 years from now.
Maybe things have changed.
Yeah, so like the roles you play also define the power dynamic, right? In where we live, the status quo dictates that the man makes the decisions because he showed us quite a large burden from the outside to keep the house over your roof and that, right? Those external
Bills in
features,
place,
right?
yeah.
The woman also has a burden to. I mean, if you're going to keep them, you have to keep the home. You have
Yes.
to teach. You have to teach children morals.
Basically, if your
and
child becomes useless, they'll be like, "Well, no kotaba kufundile."
Yeah, exactly, right.
If
So
you just
now-
come out wrong, you always go back to your mom. Your mom didn't raise you well.
exactly.
Nanga ba daddy.
Exactly, right? But now it's like I mentioned the point to say that you in the house, right? You in the house have a certain type of freedom. I'll say, let's just say the way you want it, right? You in particular, a certain type of freedom and whatnot, right? So the man in this case, because he controls the money, he gives out the money, he provides security, he pays for healthcare and insurance and your cars and your everything, right? So he's the decision maker. He's the top dog.
Yeah.
Right, top dog. He says this: you must fall in line. You must listen, right? And is that something that you agree with? Are you? Because we haven't talked about that. Is that are you agreeing to that package?
Are you bending the knee?
Are you bending the knee? Are you agreeing to that package? Because I want you to envision it, because it's not all flowers and roses and whatever, right?
So-
there is a serious part where there will
And I
be
think
big decisions.
There's this
and
word
are
which,
you
which
going
really
to
irritates women today: submission.
submission?
Yes.
Are you willing
So
to?
can I say,
Yeah.
like, the essence of submission, I would say, isn't to be walked on as a doormat. Like, you are crap, so because you're a housewife. No, that's not. I'm not submitting to that. No, I'm not submitting to a man abusing his power as head of the household. I'm not submitting to that. I'm submitting to a partner who understands that we are a partnership and this is the dynamic as a partnership that we are choosing to be in. So therefore, we then respect both roles of the house, because then that respect and understanding is seen and mimicked by our children. If our children are constantly seeing their mother being disrespected because of the role that she chose of staying at home, that will implicate a psychological aspect of how they'll also be in their relationships.
And I agree with you. I agree with you, and that's very true. But in this particular case, I'm not talking about the black and white. He's walking all over me. He's disrespecting me. No, there are certain things that are very gray. There's no real right and there's no real wrong.
yeah.
But you might strongly believe this is the best decision.
Yes.
Or
So
or
do you know
whatever.
what I'll
But
do?
then this person, right? Because of the way things are, and that's the reality of the world. This
Yeah.
person, he takes care of you.
Yeah.
He is the head of the household. And he can easily veto. But are you ready for that? Are you
Yes.
ready to submit and be like, he has vetoed? He might not have the best answer. You might strongly believe I have the best answer, but it's not like but just like I veto this. I refuse this.
I would 100% say that for me to get married to my partner, it means we're a unit. We're together. We're one. So every decision we make, regardless of my views or your views, we have to come to a conclusive decision, right? And if you're stuck in your ways to say, no, we have to follow me, you're the man. I'll let you do that. But I know in the future that it might not go well. You know, like, I'll give you an example. Like how even just our parents, right? Maybe you find that your father is saying something and your mother is saying something else, right? But your mother really can't say outwardly like your father is wrong. She'll just let it play out as is. Definitely in the bedroom, she's saying, wait, you do what you're going to do, but you come and tell me and I'll come and say I told you so. You get? So in that aspect of a decision is made, I'll let him decide. You're the man. I'll follow you. Do you, daddy. Do what you gotta do. But in the end of things, when it goes wrong, I'll be there and I'll be like, let's do this. I knew it was going to, not go well. So I had plan B backed up for us. I got us.
So women
no
should
one
submit to men.
Yes, 110%. I mean, and for me, I say that is you can only submit to something that submits to something else, if that makes sense. Like, that's the reason why for me, I would always say,
Are you trying to say men should submit to women as well?
No, I'm saying that for me, I'm a Christian, so I need a man who submits to God as I submit to him. Because then, if you're going to follow me, it means I'm getting direct, like not direct, but I'm getting some sort of information from. I know where that information is coming from. You get what I mean?
Yep.
You're going to make decisions based off the fact that you love God. So I know what I'm submitting to because I know who you're submitting to. I cannot submit to someone who's just in the streets talking bragada bragada and you expect me to submit and be a girl. Obviously not. Do you know why? Because as strong of a character and personality that I am, you're going to find that very dominating and scary and intimidating. But once you know who God is and you look at me, you're going to be like, we're going to come to an understanding. Like, I'm already a woman of God, so I definitely know that a man comes with a certain power, and it's so beautiful to see a man walk in his power when he knows who backs him up, and that's God. It's very beautiful to see a strong man. It's amazing. Like a lot of girls nowadays are hurt.
What's a strong man?
A strong man is someone who lives in the word. For me, that's what I consider a strong man. I'm not talking about physique. I'm not talking about power. No, I'm talking about resilience, strength in the Lord. That's it. Pure,
But a
plain,
little bit of
simple.
meat do help.
I mean, I don't really mind.
Do help. Though.
I mean, I really
Yeah,
don't. So
yeah.
for me, that is it. Like when a lot of women nowadays are broken and hurt, and that's the reason why women will be like, "No, I don't want to submit." It's not because they
But
don't
aren't
want
they all
to.
looking for strong men? Because at that point, don't you think then that your description of who a strong man is going to vary with each and every other woman out there?
Yes,
Because
yes,
you're all understanding
yes,
the Bible
yes.
differently.
And some
So
don't
your
even.
version of a strong man will not be.
And some people
Nzali's
don't.
version of a strong man.
Some people don't even follow the Bible. Not everyone is Christian, and not everyone will have the same views as me. So whatever you feel you can submit to, and if you submit to it, whatever you're comfortable with it. Some people submit to men that are alcoholics. That's what they've submitted to.
Can I throw in an out of context Bible verse?
Cool.
That was one I found.
Like, should we check to see whether it's actually?
It is. It is what it is. You should probably check. So First Timothy chapter 2, 10 to 11, right? But with good deeds appropriate for women who profess to worship God. A woman should learn in quietness and in full submission. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet.
What was
I'm
the
just throwing this
context?
in.
What was the context of
that's
that?
why it's Bible verses out of context.
yeah,
Bible is out
yeah,
of context,
no.
right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I hear what you say, right?
You
I
can
do-
only submit to a man who submits to a master that you know.
Sure,
Period.
right? I agree with that. Now, I'm going to challenge you a little bit here and say, do you believe that you will be a sufficient role model to your child?
100%.
Are you going to convince this child? Because imagine, as according to you, you're living your best life. You're living your best
Yeah.
life, and you're raising. Let's say, God bless you, have girls.
Yeah.
Right, girls, and they see you in this light. Do you think that your stance will provoke them to be leaders in corporate leaders, political
Because
leaders?
they're going to see my
and this-
background. I feel like
No, they won't.
they will.
Do you know why I say that? It's like, do you know when you actually get to know what your mother did?
Yes.
It's like, oof, ma, you let's just say right now, like, mom, you worked for like 1 year and you got married. What did you do?
I mean,
What
that's
did you really do?
that's where the conversation comes. As
I mean,
you-
you got the degree, but you didn't do much afterwards. So like,
because
is
they,
that-
as a parent, that's why you tell like that was my choice for my life. Obviously, you also have your own choices. So how I
But,
live my life
yeah.
doesn't mean you have to live exactly how mom lived. I mean, my kids are going to go to Shamo's place. My kids are going to go to To's place. They're going to be exposed to different houses. You get what I mean?
truly,
So they're going to come back and say, so at Uncle Shamo, this is how it is. Oh, at Auntie Nzali's, this is how it is. Or at Uncle To's, this is how it is. This is how they stay. Mom, what do you think? Right?
I get what you're saying. Yes, they do. But like, you remember I spoke about the home is the foundation,
Yes.
right? You might be an amazing mother, but are you sure that you will provide that vision for them? Because you provide that vision for them to go out and maybe do something different from
Yes.
what you did.
Yes, like,
Because personally, I don't think so.
Me,
I
say-
don't think kids
do you know
they can see you as a strong woman and
This is what I want to
having a
say,
shit,
like,
but I feel
me,
like you've
it's-
compromised a little bit. I think like you've compromised a little bit on
let me
how
th-
your kids see you.
This I don't think so, because my mom, like I said, was a very hyper independent. She worked. She was a workaholic, like Shamo's mom was. But my decision does not reflect how I was brought up and in the household I came from. Because if that was the case, I would be exactly like my mom.
I think my
And I
decision
would
does because
definitely no. That's what
you know
I'm,
that sorry. You know that thing where like we always say like girls sometimes feel like, hey, why are you comparing me to your mom?
Yeah.
Indirectly we do compare them to our moms.
Yes.
I just came to realize that. Like we do. Because we are going to be looking at you through the light of our moms. Like
It's true.
whether we like it or not.
It's true.
So the
So-
way I see it is based off of the way I've seen my mom.
Exactly.
and
Like,
stuff.
and for me, it's like, I saw my mom and I saw my dad. You know, they lived together, both hardworking parents. But my decision to be a housewife does not reflect the values and morals of. If my mom was alive, she'd be like, "Hell no, you can't do that. You need to work until you die." But for me, it's like, I don't want that. Like, you have chosen that as my mother to do that. Great for you. But I want to have a different narrative. I want to have a different story.
All right.
I want to write a different story. My kids, I'm going to be like, your grandmother was hardworking. I'll tell them and all the stories. Even me, by the time I'll be having kids, I'll still probably be working, and I'll still probably be doing what I gotta do. But when they reach a certain age where it's now like relationship based, I'll be like, okay, now this is where they're like, now when they're having boyfriends and stuff, I'll start having small conversations with them to say, don't look at my life and mimic it. You have your own choice. Do what you want to do with my guidance. Obviously, what I think, I'll advise you to be like, maybe not this. Yeah, but in terms of relationships, I'll let them have, like, if you want to be a housewife, do you. But don't say it's because my mom is a housewife, that's why I'm a housewife. No, do you. If you want to be a housewife, find rules as to why you want to be. If you want to be a hardworking woman, do that. But let it be because of your own reasoning, not because you saw mom do it. No. Yeah. And for me, that's the background I come from. Yeah, like, I can't, even just in the career-wise, right? Career sense. My mom always told me, don't do something because I did it. No, because I want to be this, because my mom is like this. No. Consciously come up with what you want to do away from me. Therefore, you find independence in that. And whatever you choose to do, be good at it.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. But I still believe that you, in this journey, you have a very, not a rough path, no. But you need to stand very firm in your position, because any skew into your biases can really affect how someone will perceive you, particularly children, right? You still must be that person who inspires hardworking in nature and
I don't think me being at
inquisitive.
home.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is like,
makes the
even
kids
at home,
lazy.
it's very easy to be lazy at home. It's very easy. I'm just saying, it's very easy to be lazy at home. It's very easy to be perceived as someone who's not serious in the home, right? But I'll come back to that. I'd like to hit Shem with a bit of something, right? We're talking about power dynamic, right? And you are more on the 50-50 side, right?
Yeah.
So, like I said, right? If you look at roles, that means there's a part of you, right? I'll say are you not going to let that part of yourself, I'll just call it your masculinity, your legacy, or you as a man, as you have been described in the Bible and as maybe you have been taught in your church what your role should be, right? How are you going to attack this when you're living a sort of 50-50 rule, when we have a disposition to lead, right? We, as men, we have a certain disposition to lead according to how we are raised. We're raised to be decision makers, right? So now, are you not concerned about maybe not losing, like you're giving it away, but not necessarily being able to be that kind of leader in your family? Is there some part of you that feels like, I still want to be the man of the house, the head of the house. But again, you also want to be for a team or 50-50. So I just want to hear from you on that. And yeah.
Okay. So to answer your question, no. But I get what you're saying and I get what you're coming from, where you're coming from. When I talked about the 50-50, I didn't mean 50-50 in terms of certain, let's say, biblical standards or... Of course, you'll still be the man.
Oh no,
of
no,
the
I didn't
house.
mean that. I meant in the roles. I just meant in the roles, but you
So
coming from a religious background.
Okay, yeah. So I still believe that gender roles are gender roles. Those it is 50-50 actually for gender roles. I was telling Leandro the other time to say, well, there's nothing like 70-30 when a child is being born. You know, it's 50-50. You can't have a child on your own. So it's 50-50. Gender roles, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when we come to other things in the home, the way I see the 50-50 view is, of course, these are things that you'd have to discuss with your partner. You say, let's say if you all both agree to say, I'll stay home, take care of the house, the kids, you work. I still consider that as a 50-50 because there's still work that needs to be done in the home. I'll leave for work and I will not do my laundry or any of that stuff. I'll just go. She'll probably cook for me while I'm at work, making money for the home. So it's still 50-50 at the end of the day. What wouldn't be 50-50 is me feeling like I'm carrying the whole burden, taking care of you and the kids. And then I have to employ like 5 house helps. And then you are just there chilling. And then on weekends, you want to go relax with your friends. And then you're not
Then
even
there's me.
raising the kids.
I
Like
want that.
the kids are being raised by the house helps. Then it makes me question, like, we're supposed to be 50-50 in this. So what's your 50? What are you bringing to the table? Because at this point, you're just another child. Like, I'm just taking care of you as much as I'm taking care of the kids. So at what point do you step up and bring yourself to the 50-50 table?
Do you feel that maybe some people see you and they're like, oh, Shem is in denial. Shem is in denial about how things work.
A lot
right?
of people.
I'll give an example. Before you get chime in. I'll give an example, right? I know lots of people who have lost their girlfriends, right? Or their significant, especially that there's a part where when you just leave CBU and your partner, the girl, maybe she was in a shorter program or something, then she gets in the work, whatever, she starts making money, then you come out a year later because you'll be at a 5 or 6 year program, whatever, or for whatever, but if she's a little bit ahead of you, you started out like the way you said, right? Because usually to my uni relationship, a lot of them are like, I have mealy meal. Oh, I have cooking oil.
Let's cook.
Come, let's cook. You cook. You're cute. You're very, you help each other out, It starts and it's very innocent. It's very nice, right? But very quickly,
Things start to drift.
Things start to drift when it could be the influence of the society. But the woman will go into the workforce. She start making some money, more than you, ideally. That's the only time it changes, when it's more than you. And then she starts to think, I think I want something different. I don't want this. I want to be taken care of. She starts sort of taking up the Lulu view, right? Because that's kind of what's around. I mean, anyway, at this time for our age, whatever, right?
Yep.
So now, someone might say like, "Hey, man, you want to keep that woman? You have to abide by the rule of law," right? And people will say those things, and I've seen them happen. These people, they were fine, but all that changed was she had more money, and she didn't want to wait for him to reach her level, or to reach a level where he can take care of her naturally. She's like, I want this now, I want this soon, and I'm not sure if you're going to get up to this. Not everyone makes it, but she's just like, I don't know.
Don't know if you will or you want.
And they jump ship, right? And I've seen relationships where the guy got out first and he said working, and they have beautiful, amazing relationships, and it's all good. But he provides for her, he takes care of her, he does the heavy lifting and whatnot, right? So, like I said, someone would be like, Shem, bro.
Are you
And
sure?
now, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not
You don't know.
seeing
You don't know
And
how women
actually,
are.
that is true. I get a lot of that
Mm-hmm.
when I talk about my views.
Yeah.
Most of my friends tell me, eventually you won't end up with a Zambian woman because your views are not Zambian, apparently.
Hey.
So, but yeah, I feel like what it boils down to, if you ask me, is people should have core values that run their lives at an individual level. I should have my own personal core values and core principles, and she should have her own personal core principles and values,
Yeah.
which are like a guideline for her life.
Yeah.
And at some point, we should share similar or the same core values or core principles, because with a core principle, there's really no sidelining it. That's the principle. It's like, this is my principle for life,
Okay.
and I'm not going to bend to anything or anyone. Like, if you don't believe in that, the door is open. Goodbye. You're not the one fish in the ocean.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
goodbye.
Okay.
And I think people need to get to that. But then I do agree with you. Relationships nowadays have maybe people don't really know much about relationships, and I kind of got a little bit of this based off of having discussions with friends, discussions with friends that are married, reading books. So it kind of opens your view to
True.
and it kind of then doesn't let you waste time trying to figure things out. From the get-go, you can just have a simple conversation about what are your core values, what are your views. Okay,
Before we go any further,
good.
please, let's
I
just
think
talk here.
he- then you would say, I don't think your views
I don't think you. Yeah, the woman. You don't.
you're
look
not
like,
the woman of my dreams.
I don't think 5 years down the line. Ukanchinjisha
By
man
the
or
way,
so.
when I say housewife, guys, please don't misquote me. I don't mean housewife sleeping and eating and getting fat and not doing anything.
Lumboa
No,
thing, like she likes
I
to say.
mean housewife with brains. You gotta do what you gotta do as a woman, because that man can die, he can leave, he can do anything.
Yeah,
so
what
it,
happens if he dies?
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the reason I had to like reiterate and say you have to have your own thing going. By own thing, you have so many investment ventures that can produce passive income, okay, that can give you money. There are so many businesses that you can do at home that can give you money. There's a woman in Quito here who does nails at her home, okay? That's a business that she does. She doesn't clock in for work, but the husband works, but she's got a nail business, which brings a lot of money. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So there are so many things that you can do as a housewife to contribute to the house financially and monetary, without actually going out to work. You get? So for me, that's what I mean. I do not want to go out to work and clock in, but I don't mind investing in things that can bring me money. An example, I can build flats and have money coming in.
What
I
happens
can
if
have
your husband says, well, I don't want to clock to work. I don't want to clock into work. I just want
that's
to
the
be
thing. That's
home."
that's what I think I even answered that to say I don't mind you clock. You don't have
Would
to.
you take up the then our work
No,
responsibility?
listen. I'm not saying that as a husband you have to do a 9 to 5, okay? You can do other businesses in the world that can bring even more money than a 9 to 5. You get? So my position is you still have to bring some sort of financial aid to the household. Even if there are men that work remotely. There are NGOs that allow you to work at home as a man.
I think
that means you're still providing.
What Withu was talking about, where like when Withu's example of fresh out of university, the reality hits you really hard. Really hard. So most of these views then just get flushed down the toilet.
A lot of them.
Because we're talking about remote working, we're talking about running businesses, but like, who's just getting straight out of uni? Some people are, which is good, but then the majority aren't running like 10 figure.
For me, let me just
companies, and then
just
I'm
say
going to
that
be
for
like,
me
oh, let's
that
just
that's
chill.
not my demographic I'm talking about. I'm not talking about straight out of uni. I'm not talking about that demographic. When I'm saying I'm getting married to, it's not getting married to someone who just left from uni. That's not my cup of tea. I'm older than that, so it can't work.
We are older than that.
So for me, when I'm talking about relationships, I'm basing it off the age that I am and the age that I want. I'm not talking about, I'm not going, if you're just coming out from uni, it's very understandable. You're just starting, you're stumbling. That is understandable. And if that's your cup of tea, girl, be patient. He'll get there. Relax. Time is for everybody. You get there as a man. And men, please don't feel bad. If you're just coming out of uni or you're in uni, there's nothing to your name, you don't come from a rich place, you're just starting out, don't feel guilty for taking your time and growing yourself. And find a girl who accepts you as such. So don't go for a working woman and accept her to accept you as you are, because let's just be honest, there's no working
She
woman
already
who-
accepted you as you were. Now she's like, I reject you now as you
are.
as you are. I reject you now.
So please just go for people you can
Yeah.
afford and people who can love you and like you.
So I think to conclude this episode, I think we've gotten some amazing. I love you guys. You guys are
I
great.
love you too.
Love to be here.
How do
Love
the
to
Gen
be
Z
here.
people do it?
It's a. I can't do
I don't
it.
even know.
I don't
I'm that
know.
old.
Is that?
Oh,
Oh, is that?
wow.
This looks like a gang sign.
Right?
This looks like-
Gang signs.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so hard to do. Like, I
Yeah.
can just do this.
Yeah. So like we've gotten so many opinions, right? We've looked at we've battled out the pros and cons of it, right? On Lulu's side, she's like, I should have the choice.
Pro-choice.
Pro-choice, I should have the choice. I should choose what I want to do. I want to enjoy my life. I want to have a man to support me, right?
Yes.
And then, but there's some possible cons, right?
Yes.
We're looking at the current status of women, and people might not be happy and say, but you could do so much more. You are educated. You could contribute and be a decision
Valuable.
maker, a valuable person, and lead the way for women, right? And then we have on here Shem's side. Lulu was the more conservative side because that's the more conservative view.
Like, that's more
Then
traditional,
It's
you
more
would say.
traditional,
Yeah.
yeah. Then the more liberal side.
Yeah.
Not that you are, but it's a liberal.
it's a liberal
Thought.
view.
It's
Yeah.
a liberal
and,
view.
And just in concluding, there's something I stumbled across today, which talked about women want emotionally intelligent men, but they are not ready for emotionally intelligent
Yes, it's
men.
true.
Because I feel like I'm an emotionally intelligent man.
Yeah, I
and
think
I
you are too.
really do not tolerate me.
I'm ruining this toast.
No, I,
Oh my gosh.
toast. Yeah. Anyway, sorry for that. Toast ruined the flow. And we don't tolerate a lot of stuff, you know. We don't.
It's true.
It's true.
It's
So
true. Yeah. So like on your side, the liberal side was like 50-50, right? And I think it's
No entitlement.
It's progressive.
Yeah,
no
no
entitlement.
entitlement.
You make sure you work.
How
you
many
put some
minutes?
effort there. You talk, you discuss, and you make it work. Yeah. So I love to hear that from you. I'd love to hear that from you, that balance. But then you might also fall prey to falling out of the box of society, which sometimes holds things together. You might fall out and you might lose out, and maybe your partner might just not want to go that extra mile with you as they get older and they see how things are, and sometimes it's easy to step back into tradition. So I think both of you guys had amazing points. This was an amazing discussion. This is the Shimi Podcast. If you've been watching, thank you so much. We're there on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, what is it called? Google
YouTube,
Podcasts,
yay.
YouTube. So
Facebook.
yeah, so please continue following. We've been doing so much work and we're so happy. We have a great time when we're here, and we have some big things planned for the future. So keep in touch and see you guys next time.